And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 797. Oh my goodness, it's almost that time for 800. Today is Wednesday, September 15th, 2021, and I'm King.
I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
At 10-ish. And today's top stories, Solana and Arbitrum knocked offline while Ethereum evades attack. Fidelity lobbies SEC to approve Bitcoin ETF in private meeting. Coinbase increases junk bond offering to $2 billion after investors swarm. And Morgan Stanley launches cryptocurrency research team. But first and foremost, what's going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So taking a look at our prices for today, Bitcoin coming in today at $47,076, up 4.6%. Ethereum at $3,418, up 3.8%. Cardano at $239 is down 0.3%. Binance Coin at $413, up 3.6%. XRP at $1.10 is up 3.1%. Solana, after a tough day, which we'll discuss, at $162, down 1.4%. Dogecoin at 24 cents, up 1.5%. Uniswap at 25.45, up 12.4%. To round out our top 10. So for those of you who saw some of the Solana news, maybe a part of the dip, also a few different things going on in the smart contract industry as far as how they're being handled, how the blockchains are being handled, but we'll get into all that later. So definitely a good time to hold. A lot of fear in the market right now.
That is right. And of course, today's show is brought to you by CryptoVantage.com. You know, they are doing that giveaway. You can check them out at go.cryptovantage.com/gentleman TAC crypto. Of course, we'll have that link right here in the chat for you. But again, they're doing 8 different ways to win, one of which you've already signed up for, which is that free newsletter. In 28 days, we'll continue promoting this contest every week, but you can sign up for your chance to win a hardware wallet and $1,500, $1,000, or $500 to invest in crypto. Here are the 8 different ways to enter. As you can see here, sign up for the weekly newsletter, which you should have already done. Check out their website, visit the @CryptoVantage on Instagram, visit CryptoVantage on YouTube, follow @Crypto_Vantage on Twitter, check out CryptoVantage on TikTok, visit CryptoVantage on Facebook, or share with your friends for extra entry. So again, 8 different ways to enter and a $1,500 prize here in 28 days on go.cryptovantage.com/KRBE crypto. And really quick shout outs going on: Keone Mason, Kimon Crypto, Wendy Nichols, Timothy Grigsby, Finn, DC, Mary Jones, Chappie, Takai's Peel, BK Bourne, Bestside Rays, Tim, Somo Vid, Trek, Les Square, New Jersey's in the house, Crypto Report Hub, Rendo like Denzel, everybody's name was going on, Jams, Bohemians, Adie. Morning to all. As Bitcoin Zay already mentioned, top story of the day is Solana and Arbitrum knocked offline while Ethereum invades attack. That's right. Solana's validators are preparing a new release after the network was brought down by a sudden surge in transaction volume while Ethereum invaded a malicious attack. So one thing I just want to say here, people, is something we keep saying. Like, everyone thinks this is, their project is the next big thing. And it's like, wait until it gets noticed by everybody. And again, I think the only reason Cardano hasn't faced the same type of surge in transaction value is because they don't have a product. But you better believe the moment Cardano comes out with a product, they will have this same issue day one, and primarily because they've onboarded all these people. They have all this volume ready and waiting at the start line, but nothing to go off into a race with. So again, we're seeing what Solana is going through. Everyone has went through, I think I actually spelled it with 2 O's, excuse me, on the title, but many projects have went through this, and essentially it doesn't surprise me. You're going to go through transaction volume surges. You're going to go through hacks. You're going to go through the regulatory jungle. Like, it's so much stuff. And as Solana starts to mature, we're seeing it start to go through these things. What's going on with this attack, or what's going on with this surge in volume, and how it was knocked offline? And what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. This is why we don't really get excited about any new projects, because you haven't been tested. The big boys who wait for projects to be to be very valuable and then start attacking you, they literally were just waiting for everybody in Solana to be like, oh, it's going to the moon, it's forever. Oh, it is? Here you go. Let's knock out a portion of the transaction volume by DDoS. And it was basically a denial of service attack. Way too many transactions. the 400,000 per second overwhelmed. And people need to understand when they tell us, hey, our blockchain is faster. We keep telling people the highways in Idaho are really empty, but nobody wants to use that shit because nobody wants to be there. The reason why there's traffic in LA is because people want to be there. So yes, it will get clogged sometimes. And when you get tested, one of the things you have to realize is when there's an issue, if this was truly a DeFi or a decentralized project, there wouldn't be a recovery from a centralized group. So you have to realize, even though they are centralized, this actually helps for people who are just getting into the industry because the forking led to, as it says here, excessive memory consumption, causing some nodes to go offline. And if you know about Solana, it costs a good bit to run a node there, and it's not that many of them. So I'm not trying to, dump on Solana or kick them while they're down, but every project has to go through it. You have to get tested. Again, Solana attacked, Ethereum got attacked yesterday. It was unsuccessful, but even Ethereum is still a baby as far as value and where it's going security-wise. So you just got to make sure you're careful out there. And of course, Solana fell 15% in 12 hours because of this. And again, I think that's Cardano's kind of win this week is that they had a upgrade, the Alonzo upgrade, and it went through smoothly. So, as far as the smart contract folks, we're starting to see the smart contract battles kicking a high gear. Let's get it.
There it is. What's going on, Kevin Stewart? Welcome to the live show. Somebody said Solana came out and tripped on their feet and fell on the map. I mean, again, this is what we keep saying. And the thing is, this could have been regular volume, or like you said, it was probably a DDoS attack. But again, no one's going to DDoS attack a project that no one knows about for the most part, unless they're trying to immediately do a 51% attack. So again, when you see these projects come out, Cardano will suffer one as well. It's just no product for it to suffer on. So wait until they launch. Like, it's going to happen to every top coin out there. It happened to the Bitcoin network too, back in 2017 during the whole Civil War, Segwit 2X. The Roger Ver Bcash army supposedly were DDoS in the Bitcoin network. So again, everyone's seen it. It's part of scaling. It's essentially being stress tested. But this is what we mean by, like, you are crazy if you think these new projects are just going to come out and take over. It's like they literally haven't been tested yet. like in a literal sense, they literally haven't been stress tested the way they need to be. So we're seeing Solana go through that, and it's a technical issue. They should be able to fix it and keep it moving. So hopefully another week or two, we hear some good news coming from them, but that remains to be seen.
Hey, remember this, great time to buy it on the dip. Everybody's scared. Everybody thinks Solana's gone. Seen this a million times. That price dip may have been orchestrated. Who knows? Just so they can have a chance to scoop some more up once they go back past 200, because it looks like Solana's going to take off either way.
There it is. Okay, let's see. Fidelity lobbies SEC to approve Bitcoin ETF in private meeting. That is right. It's another one of those back-end meetings. I was just talking to somebody recently he mentioned ETF. I was like, ETF hasn't been discussed in this space as far as actually being cleared in some years. Maybe Fidelity think that they got the old handshake down pat and they should be let in, because we know the Gemini twins have been trying to do it. Many companies have been trying to get an ETF passed. The SEC and other regulatory bodies were not having it, but it looks like Fidelity is now arguing that Bitcoin markets have already reached maturity under the SEC's own standards. Now, as much as ETF in this space is unnecessary, but it would probably bring more investors, or at least I won't say bring more investors. It would bring more capital, and the reason why is because ETFs are directed to retail investors. So all the mom and pops out there who already aren't buying Bitcoin, this would be a way to trick them into buying a derivative of Bitcoin. Meanwhile, the company, the venture capital company behind the ETF, like Fidelity, for example, would go buy more Bitcoin. So the retail investor wouldn't be getting more Bitcoin, but more Bitcoin would be bought over the counter for these companies, essentially using it as a reserve currency for their ETFs, right? They're using it as a derivative. So I would say, it's a win, and loss is a loss because people are getting away from crypto, but it's a win because technically it's bringing people closer to it. And Fidelity would end up buying the Bitcoin. But the real loss and the real whack part would be if they actually were to get it, or the SEC even listens to them. Again, it's just like the same gang doing the same gang thing. It's like you've been telling people no for years for ETFs, and then Fidelity is a headline as they try to get ETFs. Like, no, hell no. Ain't nobody else been able to get one. Why should Fidelity get to sit down? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. And even Fidelity, for those who don't know, the SEC has been pushing back against ETFs, saying the space isn't mature enough. And this is what I mean. A group of people who no one voted for, who's telling the entire population when something's ready or not, even though they're not even experts in the field. They have no clue what's going on in crypto, but they are telling all of us when the market is going to be mature enough for ETF. And then you got Fidelity over here lobbying with them. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Again, the ETF passes and whatever. A lot of people be tricked out of their money for some IOUs, for some Bitcoin IOUs. But if it doesn't pass, good anyway, because that means people get to concentrate on the technology itself and not on more derivatives in these investment products, which is essentially what's got us where we're at right now as far as being in debt. All these derivatives on derivatives, instead of just sticking to gold, saying we have gold or we don't have gold, we now have derivatives. But yeah, what are your thoughts over here with Fidelity?
Oh, yeah. So shout out to Fidelity for arguing that the SEC is basically a dinosaur. They said that their strict adherence to a 1933 law, which we've discussed before, the Securities Act of 1933, aka the Howey test, that these are outdated. And they said that this is no longer necessary because the market has matured. And the actual quote here says, "We believe Bitcoin futures-based products are not a necessary interim step before Bitcoin ETP. Firms should be able to meet investor demand for direct exposure to Bitcoin through ETPs because the Bitcoin market has matured and can support them," which again is a great quote because they're basically saying, hey, SEC, get y'all old ass out the way, man. How are y'all going to block something because of a 90-year-old rule? I mean, literally 1933, and that's the standard for what the securities law is today. Ridiculous. So I think it takes a lot to change a law that's been used for so many years. However, again, it's Bitcoin, so everybody has to adhere to us. So I think it's just another fight on the way to try and do an ETP, and they're actually trying to give direct Bitcoin exposure where you can actually cash out in Bitcoin. So a little bit different around this time. Shout out to Tom Jessup from Fidelity Digital Assets, trying to get it going, but also trying to get that money, because if you get an ETP through Fidelity, boy, that is retirement money right there. I can tell you right now, all these investment firms that will start investing. So we'll see what the SEC does, but Gary Gensler's got his plate full right now, definitely.
Yeah, and one thing, I love sharing this really quick. Thank you for the tip. Crypto Report Hub, thank you for the tip. In your guys' opinion, what is it better? Oh, okay, I'll get back to that then in a second. But yeah, one thing I want to point out when it comes to these dates, again, as you say, 1933. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Black Americans, 1921 to 1941, encyclopedia. From 1889 to 1933, some 3,745 people, mostly Black Americans, have been lynched. So we still lynching people around that time.
Yeah, you're still getting lynchings.
But I'm supposed to follow your laws. I mean, like, do we need to click on these things? Racial relations in the 1930s and 40s. Look, lynchings, which has, what does this say? Okay, go back. Lynchings, which had declined to 8. Okay, there was only 8 in 1932. Oh, it surged to 28 in 1933. So again, these are people who killed other people who didn't even get in trouble for it. I'm pretty sure we still had the sundown law. This whole thing of black on black crime, this is the years this stuff was actually created, when they had sundown laws. It was like, if you're black and you're outside after dark, then it's illegal and you're a criminal. So when you talk about black on black crime, like, these are the years blacks were actually criminalized. So when you're talking about the SEC and security laws, I'm sorry if I don't respect it, but there was a lot of other stuff going on that time, which makes me not respect it. So I don't respect those laws. I don't adhere or recognize those laws because you haven't even cleaned up the other shit. That's my point. It's like right now in 2021, they're trying to regulate digital currency, but they haven't cleaned up Wall Street. It's like, no, I cannot respect this. There's zero respect. You're not cleaning up your own backyard, but you're trying to get into somebody else's pockets. Like, let's call a spade for what it is. The SEC in the United States, traditionally, and even to the day, gets their power from being a gang. They get power from killing and murdering people. Like, that's it. If the SEC didn't have the United States, hey, if the police and military wasn't killing people, people would be like, no, I'm not following the Howey test. And they'll just walk off. Like, literally, it wouldn't even be like conversations. No, I'm not giving you my tax money. No, I'm not following your stupid ass securities test that was invented the same year black people were getting lynched and you weren't doing anything about it. Like, no, I'm not following the laws. But since it's an actual gang, which a lot of people don't want to realize, and we have people to kidnap you and throw you in prison, or even worse, kill you if you don't pay that money, then gang activities at its finest. You know, we will handle it like that.
Hey man, I'm not following any laws where, again, 1933 people, think about that. We still basically 3/5 of a person back then. I wasn't even a full human.
Yeah, I'm not even full human.
Talk about, hey, imagine hitting the steel mill and telling a whole bunch of workers about securities law in 1933. They're probably looking at you like, security of what? What the fuck? It's the middle of the Depression. Get out of here.
And you know, that's also interesting that they will even create a securities law in the middle of depression. Middle of depression. Your foot on somebody's neck. No, it ain't gonna be no way out of this depression. It ain't no way to make money. You gotta go through us.
You can't even soft shoe into a security back in 1933.
That's the crazy thing too. That's the crazy thing, and we kind of saw it again in 2008 with our generations of parents or whatever. And hey, sorry if you were caught up in it, people, but I'm gonna call it spade with this. I remember I pissed off on my parents when I was like, hey, that's y'all fault then. Y'all got played by the system, like with the whole economic housing crisis. They promised us this and this. Come on, you should know better, player. Like, that's your fault. All this better life shit, not trying to hear it. But just to think about the Great Depression and then like, it's a Great Depression. Y'all still listening to the government.
Yeah, exactly.
You get what I'm saying? It's like they line and water. You can't afford nothing, but you still send it home. Like, well, the government said just sit still and they'll take care of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slaughtered. Hey, ain't nothing we can do about it.
Listen, you said, what's the sheep get slaughtered? Is that what you said?
Sheep get slaughtered. Hey, if they still going along with these rules, these archaic rules that were created by people that didn't care about you then, they don't care about you now. And hey, you get what you deserve if you still think the SEC should be running stuff. They should not. They are so outdated, it's ridiculous.
Like the meme said, I heard they got trains and buses going to COVID camps for all y'all who worried about the virus. They got camps for you right now. You can take Let me know how to camp is.
Hey, somebody pull up that Cuba Gooding Jr. meme with him getting taken to jail. That's gonna be that's gonna be us smiling going to COVID camps laughing.
Crypto Report Hub said, what's a better buy right now? Cardano at $250, Polkadot at $36, or Chainlink at $30. So what's a better buy? I mean, as far as what actually has, I could see people trying to pump, I would say Chainlink, but just off a price point and hype and community, I mean, Cardano still probably has a little bit of juice left. Like if Bitcoin goes up, because this is the way I look at it, none of those are untethered to Bitcoin. So I say if Bitcoin goes up to 60K right now, where would you get most of your money back from as far as those three projects? And it would be Cardano to me, honestly, only because of the price point. But as far as if you say the next 5 years, which one will give you more back? I think Polkadot or Chainlink will give you more back in the next 3 to 5 years. What's your take, Zay?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chainlink will hit $100 end of this year if Bitcoin goes to 100K. So that's a 3x. Don't get greedy. With Polkadot, I couldn't tell you. Polkadot hasn't been tested either. Cardano hasn't been tested. Chainlink hasn't been tested. But if you talk about communities, I would say Chainlink's the strongest. And again, it's based on your time preference. Are you looking to the end of the year? Are you looking for the next 10 years or whatever? That's really the difference. So
let's see. I think they're laughing at this Solana thing on his website. Not only is Solana ultra fast and low cost, it is censorship resistant, meaning the network will remain open for applications to run freely and transactions will never be stopped. They said it's on the website, I'm assuming, and
that's a lie. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, again, I was just at a Bitcoin meetup, and again, it was hilarious. The meetup was hilarious because they were talking about everything that's going on in El Salvador and how they're uneducated and don't know what's going on. But literally at the same time during the meetup, you just sat and listened. And the meetup had a lot of people, had like 60 people. And I would say like 58 of them had no clue what was going on. It's funny that they're talking about El Salvador, and I'm just like, I don't know what
that is.
But I say that because a lot of the things that you hear, and I'm glad I went to it too, to be fair, because I do realize like I'm just not like a lot of people. Like no one there I could be like, oh, I can see we got similar, like with the exception of crypto, it probably like nothing else to talk about. But I will say that they were like, yeah, everyone always looks at, well, the project said this, the founder is this person, he said this said that. And I'm just like, are none of you all reading the code? Are none of you all actually like, so people, when people say do your own research, I saw the whole thing about the vaccine. They said, you can't do your own research because you don't own a medical facility and a lab and this, that, and the other. Fine, that's fair. But in cryptocurrency, do your own research means what it says. We talked about this in the actual masterclass. It means, yes, looking at the code, looking at the underlying code, looking at project details and forums and all these other things that are public and releasable that they don't really publicize for specific reasons. So when I see all this stuff and I see people, and again, Roland, I know you're just joking as far as quoting the homepage, but that's all people go for. People look at the homepage and be like, oh, Cardano said it's supposed to X, Y, and Z. And like everyone who says something about Cardano, who's read the code? Like for real, who's read the code? And I'll even go further and say who's read the white paper. I'll say who's read the white paper, and I'll go further to say who's read the actual code.
Who built a smart contract on Cardano that could show us that they've executed it?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
if you're not on the tech side actually playing, then you are speculating amongst speculators. Like, just know that. I just know that. If you're one of those people who've been talking about one of these projects and you haven't done that type of deep dive, then you're in the wrong. And I can tell you the reason why I'm saying that is because if you do a deep dive, you see how similar a lot of these projects are, which is why it's not us guessing saying they're going to run into these points of contention as far as scaling, as far as regulation, as far as hacking, as far as DDoS attacks. It's not us just guessing this is going to happen. It's us actually looking at the work saying, this reads very similar to Ethereum. These are the problems they had. I wonder if you all will have the same ones. Really quick, thank you, Walter Beasley, for that tip. Much appreciated. So thank you for everything you do. And yes, shout out to Crypto King Silver Sailor. Said go and check out former Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney become a Hexagon during yesterday's Wake Up Hex show on Discourse Syndicate YouTube channel. All right, so yeah, former congressman, y'all flipped into a Hexagon. Definitely got to check that out all the way for sure.
I didn't see it, but they said that they sent her 100,000 hex. So I don't know if y'all made her a Hexagon or if y'all just gave her free money.
Oh, listen, hey, y'all good.
I mean, because again, you can go to a strip club and give them $1,000. That ain't your girlfriend. So calm down, Hexagons. I don't know for sure. We'll check it out and see, but I don't know if you actually made her Hexagon just by giving her money.
Gracie, baby, y'all did give her 100,000. Then shame on y'all. Y'all trying over here trying to get a gem in crypto all day. We ain't got no 100,000.
I ain't got no 100,000. I think we get y'all the most. Y'all might have the most publicity other than Rich Clark himself.
Maybe there would have been a Hex show by now. You know
what?
Maybe. Coin market cap it is. Coin market cap it is. Y'all want to do that? See, this is the problem with the community now. Y'all trying to reach out, former secretary, former congressperson. No, why are we doing all these formers? We got people right here in the space who would love 100,000 Hex. There you have
it. hey, and on top of that, I mean, y'all got music, y'all got your own meetups, and y'all be on Discord and all that stuff. We ain't get invited to none of that. But all of a sudden, y'all want to invite Cynthia.
Is a coin market cap is. Let's see. All right, let's see what else we have going on. Coinbase is in the news. Coinbase increases junk bond offering to $2 billion after investors swarm. You want to talk about somebody who's selling derivatives on derivatives? It is Coinbase. Listen, as that $100 billion thing fell flat, they was like, hey, somebody working like, hey, you gotta get that money back somehow. So yeah. Y'all figure out this is what the real gangster in the room was like, listen, I put up 40 billion, we don't have it. Y'all get it back. I'll be back in 6 months. Somebody better have my money. And he just walked out the room or she. But Coinbase has sold $2 billion worth of corporate bonds in an offering that saw $7 billion worth of bids placed. That is right. Leading US-based crypto exchange, Coinbase has seen enormous demand for its junk bond offering, with the firm increasing the size of the sale by 1/3 from $1.5 billion to $2 billion. According to Economic Times, at least $7 billion worth of orders were placed in competition for equal quantities of 7 and 10-year bonds, offering interest rates of 3.375 and 3.625 respectively. They're saying the strong demand is clearly a big endorsement by debt investors, commented Bloomberg intelligence analyst Julie Charillo. However, the exchange bonds were rated one rank below investment grade, with Bloomberg bond indexes indicating that similar debt offerings fetch a 2.86% yield on average. I mean, honestly, you're talking about 3%. This doesn't even wake me up right now. What's going on with this story? And there's 3 paltry 4% bonds and interest rates. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, if you don't know, junk bonds, they're basically are buying a company's debt. Just like with US bonds, you're buying our debt and you're making a percentage off of that. much like staking. You're basically just buying into it. And MicroStrategy actually did this for $500 million back in June. They actually completed a junk bond offering, issued $500 million worth of notes, and then bought more Bitcoin. I don't think Coinbase would do the same thing, but if they have $2 billion worth of investment, I can guarantee you that will be put towards their company or towards what they're doing. So this is an easy way for companies to basically pass off their debt to investors who want to invest long term, get a consistent percentage. Again, 3% is come wake me up, but 3% of 100 million is pretty good. So I mean, at the same time, that's 300,000 right there. So a year for nothing. So the more money you have, the more this makes sense. That's why sometimes it is good to go after higher price investors, because they only need about 15, 20 people with that type of money to get $2 billion. And they have the type of money where 3% sounds good because it's pretty much a guaranteed 3%. They can keep that in the road for that time period. So shout out to Coinbase. And like I said, as a business, they know how to make money. Now, we can talk about other moral and ethical and economic stuff, but as a business, they know how to make money. So shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them for sure. Going back and looking at some of the comments, they're saying True Moxie says she went and staked there on her own. That makes her a Mexican. Let's see. Virgo L Unico said, "Good morning, gentlemen and warriors. Like tax pay at the door. Thank you. Using my burner account while I ride share to hustle for Bitcoin money." One thing I want to bring up again, people, if you have extra time in the week, like literally, you got, I know people not going back to work because they're like, hey, these checks too good. Ain't no reason to go back. I get it. However, if you have some free time, I mean, literally go mow a lawn for $20 and buy it on Cash App, buy some more Bitcoin. But I mean, that's literally where we're at right now. Like, since we can't operate as banks and these venture capital funds and just, buy 200 Bitcoin a month or $50 million of Bitcoin we want, you have to dollar cost average and you have to grind it out right now. And grinding it out right now is yes, ride sharing, Ubering, waitressing, or picking up another full-time career if you need to. But whatever it is, have something that's going to still give you more fiat currency that you can continue to just keep dumping into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That way, again, some of these things don't matter as much. Let's say you do have a big bag of XYZ and it goes down, and you have another big bag of XYZ and goes up. If both bags were bought by ancillary income, secondary income from your spare job or your part-time job, both of those projects were bought by that income, you won't care as much. You won't be stressing. You won't be worrying about buying and selling tops and bottoms. You'll be like, oh, my Waffle House money paid for both of those projects, and I had a chance to put a few thousand in both. Like, I don't care. So you definitely want to get to that point. So I co-signed that ride share. SG said the fact that it took 400K TPS to bring it down is pretty impressive, talking about Solana. I mean, that's true that it did take so much to bring it down, but still went down. So yes, Rendo, like Denzel, says Solana's down 12% after one crash while Cardano is pumping with no product. That's what we call cryptocurrency right there.
Yeah, that's crypto in a nutshell right there, baby.
Let's see. Todd said, that's why I always get the scrunchy face when they explain how the government confiscate gold from people. I'm like, how? I mean, honestly, I can see happening. Remember the cash for gold thing in the early 2000s when they were doing the cash for gold everywhere? Literally, that happening too. When people were selling all their gold for a few dollars here and there, that was those companies coming.
They look back. Yeah, I gave up all my gold for a rent payment. Like, they're gonna look back and be like, dang, I should have just grinded it out and got that money from somewhere. But you're right. Hey, dumb people part with their money a lot easier than smart people.
Let's see. JB said Wall Street is named for the slave auction blocks on site where they stood against the wall as chattel for sale. Well, there you have it. Only the realist there says MLK had to die to change his country. And it's funny how much people talk about MLK. If MLK was alive right now, like, majority of this country would not fucking like him. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and throw that out there and be real.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, half of the people that talk about MLK, Malcolm X, all these people, they talk about him in these like amazing. They didn't like him while he was here. You wouldn't like him now. Y'all too soft anyway. Especially somebody like Malcolm X. Y'all die as soon as he said we need traditional family values. Oh my God, he hates us all.
Reno Gamble said, "What did the SEC and Wall Street do to prohibit basically decentivize lynching, Jim Crow laws?" Nothing. I know they made their money off it though. And again, as I always say, people, I'm not mad. If I was Wall Street way back in the day and all this crazy stuff was happening, My job is to make money off it. That is my job. I'll be looking to make money off it. Be like, I'm glad I'm not those guys. So I truly understand, but it's kind of like Dave Chappelle said. I get what they're going through with the crack area. The crack area. Actually, I said this joke before. Dave Chappelle said it publicly, to be fair, on this show before years ago when I was making a joke about the opioids. I was like, I get it. I don't care. Like
exactly.
I get
Glad
it.
I'm not those guys.
Glad I'm not those guys over there. So hey, we get it. We're not mad, but we're also just being fair and being unbiased when we say, yeah, if it was some dirty, like I can't make a law about not stealing when I'm over here stealing at night. Like you can't do it. If somebody called me out and be like, yo, bro, you can't make a law about not stealing and you stealing, I would be right to be like, you guys got me, you know? So definitely understand. All right, last but not least, we are talking about Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley launches cryptocurrency research team. I mean, people, this is what we mean by bullish signals and bullish indicators. Morgan Stanley, who's trying to go after the ETF? Who's going after the ETF? Bitcoin exchanges now?
Fidelity.
Fidelity, yeah. Fidelity is not going to put time and resources into ETF. Morgan Stanley is going to put a crypto research team together. MasterCard is going to flip-flop from calling it a basket of junk for pedophile, people who want to be pedophiles and stuff, to suddenly endorsing it. My point is these are bullish sentiments that you have to take serious. If this is hitting the news, they were already planned to build this thing up, and we're just now hearing about it. But after launching a Bitcoin investment tool for millionaires earlier this year, Morgan Stanley is diving deeper into crypto. It looks like one of the largest banks in the United States is setting up a new crypto-focused research division. The Wall Street mega bank has appointed Sheena Shah as lead cryptocurrency analyst for its dedicated cryptocurrency research team. Bloomberg reported on Monday. Shah worked as Morgan Stanley's lead currency strategist, covering G10 currencies for more than 8 years, and contributed to the bank's crypto-related research efforts. In the new role, Shah reportedly focused on analyzing the impact of cryptocurrencies on equities and fixed income investments such as treasury and corporate. But look, they are trying their hardest to use crypto to go back to the old school. I love it. I'm not mad at it. I love it. It's hilarious to see. So yeah, Sheena Shah, someone no one has ever heard of in the cryptocurrency sector outside of Wall Street, is now leading Morgan Stanley, one of the largest banks in the United States, research division, crypto-focused research division.
This sounds much like fax machine company hires email strategists to
bro, you already getting the one line
to grow to with research efforts. Like, what are you talking about? You literally hired somebody to do a job to replace you? No, they're trying, like you said, they're trying to fuse it together as if they can have some crypto equity product, a digital asset. Again, this is a waste of time, which I'm glad they're hiring people that we don't know, because to me, that just proves our point. They have a group of people that they trust in the banking industry that won't shake the boat to do their bidding. And Sheena Shah seems like she's been doing it for years anyway. With G10 currencies, that has nothing to do with crypto. That shouldn't even be on the resume. That's like showing up, yeah, I got plenty of experience with silver and gold. So it's like, okay, but what's that got to do with crypto? It has nothing to do with nothing. So this is hilarious to me that Morgan Stanley is, pursuing this, even after all the years, like you said, of saying they don't like it. But it's just, I mean, shout out to her for getting the job, but it just seems like they're leading you down a path to nowhere. Really, I just don't see what are you all going to solve, or will you just?
What are y'all researching? What are y'all
researching, man? Like
trying to figure out how to give somebody 2.5% again, like.
Yeah, like what exactly? I want to know exactly the product that comes out from this, because I can almost guarantee you this is going to be another Hyperledger event or whatever blockchain event where they have all this money and all this research, and they get to the bottom and say, so how do we control it? And they're like, you can't. Okay, so next, like they're just gonna get rid of it. Like I just don't see where this goes in their favor. So good luck to Sheena, but I just don't see Morgan Stanley doing anything significant.
For sure. Like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. Honey Buzzers quote, I'm gonna read it in a funny voice. I'm assuming you're putting it funny. If you're not flip-flopping in crypto, you're not really paying attention. Right? All these companies out there. Let's see. Yes, I just saw another good one. Oh, I just missed it. Let me see. Going through the comment section right now. Someone says shout out to Gensler. Let's see. Todd Mack, John Brown is better than Marcus Garvey. Hey, Marcus Garvey was that guy for sure. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Leroy Forbes said, as soon as they say something about Meg Thee Stallion and MLK getting canceled, I just had to say that's pretty funny. I can see that too.
Oh yeah. Imagine H-Rap Brown seeing Lizzo.
Let's see. Asti said, this is how dinosaurs die. They get stuck in the mud. PFC Wells said, is the quote research a cover story to keep the SEC at bay while they build and test systems in beta? That's actually true. I can see that being an example for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. They're talking about research, like you said, perfect example. I think you say they hired the fax person to teach you about email or something like that. Was a perfect example for this.
You're getting an email strategist for our new fax machines. So
yeah, but going back to it, says they're going to focus on analyzing the impact of cryptocurrencies on equities and fixed income investments such as treasury and corporate bonds. Here's the thing about this space, people. It is moving incredibly fast. It's moving so fast that, like, for one, if you're, I feel like if you're a big company, you have to jump in and break things. And yes, you might break some of the fake laws that haven't been created that will be created overnight, right? Like, you might get yourself in some trouble, but you have to move fast and break things because the time for analyzing and researching, that's over. Shout out to Bitcoin Vegan as well. Justin Bitcoin Vegan. He just launched his book from bars to Bitcoin. It talks about his journey from being in prison to now working in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And I want to give a shout out to Bitcoin Vegan. He gave us a shout out in the book as well, talking about how Zay brought him on board and had him researching and stuff for us. But I bring that point up because we had Justin on board. Bitcoin Vegan was on board, 2016 and 2017. That's when we were doing research, people. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to say we're smarter than these bigger companies, but we're kind of smarter than these bigger companies. Like,
yeah, we're kind of smarter.
The time to do the research and analytics and all that, like, you can do it simultaneously right now as you build, but essentially as a company like Morgan Stanley, like, how long does this research last? 3 months, 6 months? Everything keeps changing. But let's just say you do 6 months of research. Like, you're telling me you're going to wait until 2022 to even start to do it, to actually move because you've just been reading the whole time? It's like, no, the market is now. It's happening right now. It's moving fast right now. The next happening happens in 2024. And by that time, if you aren't in place to actually scale, like if your system hasn't been stressed out, I'm telling you now, a lot of the projects, I think after 2024, not only will we see like 80 to 85% of these projects die, but the ones that are alive, we're going to see them aggressively accelerate. I think we are going to see them aggressively take off, and you won't get another good project until the next Google comes along from there. Because the happening, I think, is just literally going to split this market in such a way we haven't seen before. I mean, it's going to go down to 3 point something Bitcoin, people. Like, it's going to stress the market. So I don't know. I think the time for research and all that for companies of this size, they have to simultaneously be doing something. They have to simultaneously be building a product or actually executing on a plan. But you're still talking about researching a 3% ROI market. Like, no one cares about 3% anymore. Like, I saw someone in chat, as soon as they came in the chat, they said, Warriors, what's the next 10X coin? Like, people coming into a chat on Wednesday talking to the Warriors looking for the next 10X coin. You think somebody about to care about some research for a 3% product? Like, I don't see it.
It doesn't make much sense. And on top of that, the company that's doing it, you said 6 months. I think they'll take even longer to actually have something where they actually put it out. So, yeah, good luck to them. But this market moves very fast. 6 weeks and they blow right past it.
Right. Look, that baby said, we ain't taking that long.
Mr. She knows Morgan Stanley is some bullshit.
Mr. H, thank you for the tip. Keep up the good work. Love the channel. Other than that, that is the show for today. Last couple of quick comments. What's up, Jams? Jams was responding to someone. Okay, PFC Will, that's right. Get that masterclass if you haven't already. Of course, get the masterclass, people. For the most part, we teach everything in this space on the broad level, top to bottom. And I would highly suggest it. But if you don't have the money for the masterclass, no worries. Make sure you check out our show sponsor of the day, of course, Crypto Vantage. You can check them out at go.cryptovantage.com/gentlemen of crypto, where you have 28 days left to enter their giveaway where you can win a hardware wallet and $1,500, $1,000, or $500 to invest in crypto. And of course, there are 8 different ways to enter. Again, we put that in the chat box, and that's for those folks who are looking for those free resources. That way people can say, hey, masterclass too expensive. You know, you guys don't offer anything free. Hey, we got the Monday through Friday show where we can answer some questions. And of course, we have our partnership with Vantage.com. So be sure to check them out. Bitcoin, you got anything else?
Nothing else for me. Appreciate you guys. Happy hump day, baby.
All right. Happy hump day. Make sure you smash that like and share, and make sure you're around Thursday and Friday. We have two good interviews coming in hot tomorrow. We'll have a mayor who's actually crypto focused coming on. And then Friday, we'll have a CEO of a pretty big project coming on as well. So don't miss either one of those days. More to come. And we're planning on having the No Name Friday show this week as well. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, smash that like and share, and we'll see you all tomorrow.